so much to share over the past week. Thank you for joining me on episode number 9 of the official BeatzCoin podcast. I don't really even know where to start. Sorry I didn't post anything last week. I was dealing with a bad cough and I can barely get through any conversation. I still kind of am dealing with it, but I'm okay. Anyways, the biggest news on the Tron end of things is that we have the Nitron Summit in San Francisco taking place on January 17th and 18th. A lot of guest speakers will be there, including the biggest name, Kobe Bryant, who I actually used to hate, but that's really only because he wasn't on my team. But it's definitely going to be a great time. We are actually planning that trip this week. A few members of the BeatzCoin team, including Steven and myself, will be going and representing BeatzCoin there. So here's the other exciting thing. Tron has also created an accelerator program and is going to be donating a total of $1 million to the best dApps that are going to build on the Tron protocol. So we're currently getting all the details and information that we need in order to qualify for that, because that would give us a really, really, really good boost if we would win some funding money for our project. Now, on the BeatzCoin side of things, I am very excited to share 2 pieces of information. You know, BeatzCoin is community driven, and we feel that we have built things from the ground up, and now we have developed an amazing community thanks to each and every person that believes in our project and how it can make a difference and change so many lives in the long run. So because of the success and what we have going on for us in the near future, we finally feel like we're in a position to run for super representative. Now, for those of you who don't know what a super representative is, it would take me a while to explain it, but just know it's something very important for the Tron community. So we're a transparent group that's going to look out for the best interests of the Tron community. It's going to enable us to reward our community and our voters. And most importantly, it's going to give us exposure and accelerate the progress of the Vibrabid platform with injections of capital from the rewards that we get. So we'll have full details on the campaign soon. We are currently live, so you can vote for us already. So I don't want to sound like a politician, but vote for BeatzCoin. Secondly, I am very, 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 very proud to announce a $1 million, no, not $1 million, I wish $1 million, maybe one day, a 1 million BeatzCoin giveaway for artist partnership. So we understand that we need content to fill the platform, and we don't just want any content, we want great content. So we want to attract that great content with this contest that we are having. We will have more details on how to enter that in an article very soon as well. And speaking of artists, today's episode is with Ames. He is an aspiring rapper who we featured in our latest listening series episode. He's very talented at rapping and writing, and I want to get straight into the conversation. But first, let's listen to Wake Up to lead us in.
I can hear the waves crashing on the side of the beach. I was trying to sleep, just lying in the night, flying with sheep. Around the world and back like I'm exploring on my IG. Not many guys like me, the way I ride these beats. All up on that rhythm when I'm flowing, I get them bobbing their heads for a minute. Like it, then spin it like I be doing every day. Rolling and lighting my spinach. Hey, yo, I'm fighting to finish this long run that I'm out on. Bringing heat to every track that my mouth on. Mic check, the sounds on. Spit that shit, it sound raw. Then I gotta roll out, it's time to bounce, gone. It's how I'm feeling, am I faded or what? I've been in bed, hear the breeze in the trees. Way it feels like I'm floating leads me to believe this might all be in my head. See what I'm seeing is a dream, I need to wake up.
Ames, welcome to the official BeatzCoin podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet with you and talk with you. And that was pretty interesting and random how we got together as far as meeting each other through Twitter and through your cousin. So your cousin is, I forgot what his Twitter handle is, but he is...
Doc. I think it's like Doc Oil or something.
Yeah. So he's big in crypto too. I know he works with the Lupe coin. Do you know who Lupe is?
I haven't heard of Lupe.
Lupe is a You could call him a crypto Twitter celebrity. He makes everyone crack up and laugh on Twitter.
Maybe I have heard about him. Was he in the cartoon you guys did? Or
that
were
we
you part
did?
of the cartoon?
No. That's probably on his side, but yeah, he's pretty crypto Twitter famous. You could put it that way. But man, I listened to a lot of your music, and you're very talented, and I wanted to get you on the podcast because I just wanted to chat with you, because I know that music is something you're taking very seriously. You're trying to make a career out of. So I just wanted to kind of get in the mind of the musician Ames. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're rapping. Like, how did you get into that? Was it like a childhood thing? Did you start off on the production end? Let's go back.
Well, it's definitely like a young thing. I'd say I first started thinking about it. It was honestly like when I was getting out of high school, which would have been around, I got out of high school around 2005, but 2006, I'd say, was when rapping started. It was more like just college parties, going to college parties down on campus and seeing people rapping for fun. And mainly one of my good buddies, he goes by Red Dragon, but he always had a real intensity to his freestyles and stuff. And it really inspired me just seeing that and him being able to put words that came out of nowhere, just kind of put them out there over a beat and express your feelings. And I always thought that was great. So I was like, let me try this. And then that just turned into writing. Obviously it all was bad at first, but you got to start somewhere. So, and I just kept going. And
so before high school, you weren't really like a rapper or anything. You just appreciated the music, or what?
No, honestly, I didn't even listen to rap in high school, like maybe a tiny bit. Wow. It was like the end of high school that I really started liking rap. And I'm not going to say I didn't listen to rap, because I did listen to a lot of rock rap, like POD and stuff like that. And like Linkin Park.
So what would you say were like your main inspirations that got you to where you're at?
Well, I'd say the rap that I first started listening to in about 2006, some of those were huge in like inspirations. Even maybe like 2005, I was probably listening to like T.I. and like Kanye West. But right around that time, I found the Cottonmouth Kings, which were like huge for me. They were like just a bunch of suburban white kids from California that made like skateboard rap and stuff like that. So that was always a big influence around that time. It was like punk music, rap music mixed.
Man, I'm gonna have to check that out. So you said you started in college. Were you more of a freestyler guy, or are you the type of person that, you got the notebook and the pen and you start writing?
Well, it definitely started with freestyle. That was what I was like. It opened my eyes to a whole nother world. Like, people were doing this, and I was like, well, I got to try this. So freestyling started it. But after I did that for a while and realized that, there was just a lot of random stuff coming out, I was like, I really need to sit down and focus this stuff and write it down and try to come up with some type of, formula or something. And that took years of writing. I mean, I'd say it was a few years, probably 2 to 3 years, like writing and just making random tracks before all of a sudden I was writing full 3-minute tracks, and I would just put on a beat and rap the track straight through for people. And that was before I was like actually recording myself, because I didn't have the equipment. That's
really interesting, because I listened to a few of your songs and you could tell that you put a lot of thought into them. Is your motivation behind your writing, how did you get so deep in your writing? Because I want to talk about a few songs that you've written, and I pulled out some lyrics. But what kind of gives you your inspiration to write? And are you a natural writer, or is this something that took you a while to develop?
Writing is I think with the writing, it's kind of like the inspiration is just trying to tell people stuff and open people's eyes, not always like preaching or teaching, just kind of like letting people know that like there's things you can do that you don't think you can do. I don't know. I like to talk about like going for your goals and not stopping and this kind of stuff, because it's like too many people just quit too early or have things in their life that they really want to do and they don't do it because they feel like they have to do something else or they have to do this or that. And I've just always been a big supporter of, if you feel like you want to do something, do that, you know? So
Yeah,
that's like a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. I guess what makes me like music is when you hear something that motivates you, you know, something that will inspire you, whether it's, you know, no matter what you're doing, you know, in life. If it gives you some sort of inspiration and it makes you think and reflect, that's when, you know, you're getting some value out of that, right?
Exactly.
And I'm sure as a musician, when people tell you that's what makes you feel better, right?
Oh yeah, it feels great, man. I love knowing that people feel things from my music. I mean, even just feeling anything, even if they don't like it, but it made them feel something, you know?
So I would say your most popular song is probably Shameless, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten the most play and the most like views on Facebook with the video and everything, even YouTube.
So my favorite songs that I want to talk about were Records and What's Next. But tell me about the song Records. Like what kind of inspired you to do that? Because that a little bit of that song goes kind of hand in hand of what we're, you know, doing in BeatzCoin, because what we see as far as artists trying to get out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Records is that was a time I was living kind of far away. I'd moved out to the country and I was living a lot of time by myself. That was when I was finishing the tape. That was one of the last songs I had produced. And I don't know, it kind of comes off as like a chip on my shoulder song. Like I do feel like, I don't know, at least like on the intro, the song's about like just pushing it and not stopping, you know, like the chorus, it basically talks about, you know, just keep going. I'm going to break more records than the Guinness Book, you know, like, but when the song started coming out, I'd say like whatever happened to rapping, I sit here thinking a lot of new artists that they bringing out here singing. And I think it was just me listening to a lot of new artists around that time and questioning hip hop and rap, because a lot of new artists that they were bringing out were auto-tuned and they were singing, and it just wasn't rapping like I grew up. Like rapping to me is spitting, you know, it's not like singing. And don't get me wrong, you can have melodies and rap, but when all you're doing is singing and you're taking a half-second break between every bar, you know, like you're not spitting, you're just kind of like flowing a melody, which is cool, but I don't know. I was just a little bit upset about it at the time, so I put it into song form, and then it actually was kind of cool. I liked the way it turned out, because that's not the whole premise of the song, but that's like what kind of sparked it.
Yeah, I got two or three things out of that song, which I think it's awesome when you can get, you know, multiple type of multiple meanings from each song, you know, not just one or two, not just one thing, you know. So that's what I really liked about it. And I think you're right. I mean, our last podcast, I was talking to Crypto Tone, who's a YouTuber big on Tron, and he said he kind of stopped listening to rap because it kind of got weak, you know. And we got in a whole conversation about that, and he made some pretty good points. I also liked my favorite song is What's Next, hands down favorite song, because it makes you think about what we're tied into and how it's such a distraction to the life that we're supposed to live, but it's almost inevitable. So I took a few lines out. Take a breath, put away your phone, and take a second and try to make a connection. Try to really make a connection. I love that lyric.
Because that's lessening. Yeah. Because everyone's, you know, the connections are lessened. They're less now. People are more connected to their phones and people like that they don't even really know. And not that you can't really meet people, because I met you and you seem real cool, but like
Thanks.
there's a lot of stuff going on around you, you know, in front of your face, that just put away the phone for a second, put it down, take a breath, and
Yeah.
accept
Yeah.
what's around you, you know, live
That
your life.
yeah, exactly. I love the line, life is more, what does it go? How does it go? Like, life is more that I need to disconnect lately, and I feel like a slave to the internet.
Yeah,
So,
life is more than this. Life is more than this. I need to disconnect. Lately, I've been feeling like a slave to the internet.
that's why you're
Yeah,
the
and that
rapper,
goes right
not
into
me.
the chorus. What's next? Picking up the pace now to caught my breath. Yeah, yeah, I really like that. Like, I remember when I wrote that, and I was like, man, it just works. And it's great that you picked out that song, because that's such an overlooked song, because it's like the last song on the tape.
It's
And
because it's deep, man.
it was,
It's super deep.
and it was the only song that was produced by my friend. He actually produced the beat for that. Most of the other beats were bought online, you know.
Wow.
So
And then
he actually produced that, which is nice.
cool. And then you say making music is the only way I want to make, is the only way I want success. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
neat,
yeah.
man. So like
Yep,
what?
in the chorus.
Yeah. So if you can summarize that song, because I mean I know what it means to me. Tell me what it means to you. You know, if you were to deliver this message and tell the whole audience what is this song?
Well, it's basically me saying that I got to keep pushing for music, because, you know, if I quit and lie to myself and try to do something that isn't what is in me, you know, I just feel like I'm gonna be lying to myself. I'm gonna be kidding myself, and it's not gonna feel good, especially 20 years from now. So like, I have to keep going for it and keep pushing towards it. And it's kind of me asking myself what's next. And, you know, it's taken a while, but I think the next batch of music's getting close. So that feels good. It feels good to see a light at the end of the tunnel, at least a little bit. You know, there's always a tunnel, but it feels good to know that the next batch is coming out, and I haven't lost it, because, you know, it's easy to just forget about something like that. But
Right. And let's talk about the big problem here, the industry. So we know a major barrier to making a living in music is the industry. There's a lot of bad parts about it, a lot of tough parts about it, because there's a ton of talented people there and they just are not being heard. And it's something that we're trying to, you know, find a solution for with our company, with crypto and blockchain technology. But what are your thoughts on the industry, on what needs to change and what you don't like about it?
yeah, I feel, I don't know, it's real, at this point, it's very oversaturated. One, I mean, everybody knows that. Everybody can make music now. It's easy to get your music out there, even distributed to Spotify and stuff like that. So it's just opened up the doors, which is honestly, it's great and bad, because there are a lot of talented artists out there that can't, you know, get exposure and that, or can't get distribution and that kind of stuff. But this stuff that makes it possible for them. And even like Instagram and SoundCloud and all these platforms, you can put music on or expose yourself. But
You still
at
have
the
to market
same time,
yourself.
there's the side. You still have to market yourself, and you still have opening it up for all these people. There's 10,000 people out there that are putting out, you know, it looks good. They have good art, and they get the good art, and they get all this stuff. But then you listen to the song, and it's just like not that great. So then you get the fans and the consumers that look at all these pages, and then they're only going to do that so many times before they stop looking at new pages, you know. And then they're like, well, every time I look at one of these new pages, they seem like they're good, but I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like people get tired of seeing bad stuff, so they stop even looking for new stuff.
Right. And
There's
then
just a big oversaturation.
yeah, and then if you do get exposure from, you know, a huge label or the traditional way that most of the, you know, famous musicians, you know, achieve that, most of them, then you're kind of sacrificing on the other end. You're not getting what you deserve. You know, they recycle you, or they cycle through you. And after that, it's kind of like game over. You're off to fend for yourself, and you don't even own your content, which is the worst thing, right?
Yeah. That's definitely the worst, is not owning what you've created. The whole label thing is intense.
Yeah, what's your thought on that? Like, how do you want to go about that? Because I know you have an album already. What's your plan? Do you want to do everything yourself, or are you looking for secondary help? What's been your initial thoughts on that?
I'd like to be able to produce myself. Honestly, the thing for me is I wish I could find something to expose me, because there's actually people that'll do services that'll repost your stuff on sites and stuff like Fiverr. You can go on Fiverr and find people that will like repost YouTube links and do this and that. But half the time they're not doing it to real organic followings. Half the time they're just running stuff, giving you fake plays.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can find people that expose you to real stuff. So that's like really what I would like, without having to like search out a label, find something that's a way to expose your music to a lot of people that aren't fake. Because if people would just listen for a little bit and give it a little bit of time, they could find new music that they liked. But it's hard to get people to focus for that long when they're so used to not seeing stuff that they want to see.
Right. They kind of want everything instantaneously. And then if you don't pop up in the, very beginning of the search results, then like you said, they're kind of going to give up on that. And
or if you pop up and you don't have good art,
right,
or just one little thing, they're like, well, I don't know.
See, and that's why I'm excited.
The whole package.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited about the platform that we're building, because essentially what we're trying to do is create a whole music ecosystem to where if the listeners are getting incentives to listen, and then at the same time, it's easier for the artist to market. So
yeah, I like that.
So essentially you putting your music on there is going to be easier to market yourself and less expensive, because we're looking at, all these platforms and they pretty much take everything. But you mentioned something very interesting that I didn't know about, because when we were talking earlier, I said, man, like, you're so talented. How do you only have, a couple hundred subscribers on YouTube? And then you kind of explained to me how Facebook works, because that's where you're a lot more popular.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about that, so the people listening can understand how all this stuff works and how difficult it actually is to market yourself.
Yeah. Well, see, when I first started doing a lot of this stuff and promoting the tape, which is the album that Shameless and What's Next are on, when I first started doing that, I was pushing hard on Facebook, and I posted on YouTube as well and on SoundCloud. The thing with Facebook is it has specific algorithms that when you use Facebook advertising, which it's hard to get organic reach, because you have to have people share and share and share and share, and everybody is only going to share a couple times. So eventually you're going to need to boost your post if you're using a page. The Facebook algorithms basically want to push Facebook videos for you, so that when they see you posted a SoundCloud link on Facebook on your page and you boost it with them, they're only going to boost it. I can't give you percentages, but it seems, half as good, even like 30% compared to what I was getting with a Facebook post, like actually uploading the video to Facebook and pushing it as a Facebook post, not my YouTube video or SoundCloud. So with my Facebook post for Shameless, I actually ended up with about 102,000 views, close to 1,000 likes and comments, and it was very active, and tons of people saying crazy stuff like, oh, you're up next, this and that, and that was great, but then that's as far as it went, because I didn't get YouTube exposure, and that's like the big boy. Facebook's just, it's like it's there to help you out, but you kind of want to push the people that like that stuff to another thing. And
Yeah, because
you
how
know,
much do you
I got a little bit,
monetize?
but
How much do you monetize from a Facebook video?
I've never
Nothing,
had
right?
any money.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
nothing.
I know you can. I know YouTube, you have like, you can do the monetized thing with like ads and this and that, but I really don't know about Facebook. All I did was spend money so people would see it.
Yeah, so you got some good exposure, but you didn't get anything out of it because
No.
it's kind of like you have to cross market it, but then like you were saying, the algorithms don't work hand in hand for you to be successful, which
Yeah.
we've identified yet another problem within not just the industry, but getting your, personal exposure with digital content.
Yeah. Well, I know things have been going on. I've been hearing a lot about SoundCloud and Spotify as well for new artists getting exposed. Like, they've been around too long now. It's always when one of those things comes out. When SoundCloud came out and I first started using it in like 2010, I remember I had a buddy that did electronic music, and he got huge because of SoundCloud, because it was new,
Mm-hmm.
But now it's been around forever. So it's hard to find that opportunity, because I'm sure the algorithms on SoundCloud are certain ways too that kind of like kill new posts. Like if you put a new song on there, it doesn't like expose it like it used to. It used to throw you out in front of everybody. Now it's like nowhere near that. So
That's interesting. And that's one of the things that we're
Yeah.
trying to make it kind of fully transparent with Vibrabid, where the platform that BeatzCoin will be used on, because you'll have the power to market yourself, and that, hey, if you're spending your currency on marketing yourself, then you're going to get views and listens, and then hopefully attract more fans your way to start spending money on whatever you do.
Yeah.
And then we'll have like
definitely sounds cool.
bounties, radio. We have a lot going on. I'm excited for many artists to take a part, but the goal is really to take the good things out of these platforms, because like you said, there are really good things about it, and just capitalize on that and just make it better, and fairer for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, it's always the next thing that blows up. Like, all these things are already discovered. There's going to be a next thing, There has to be. There always is.
Define success for Ames. Like, what'll make you happy?
Honestly, what would make me happy is if I could have, I don't even have to have like a ton of, people that love my music, just a nice loyal fan base that would want to follow, and listen to what I have to put out. And if I could maybe make just a living doing what I wanted to do, like if I could survive, I don't even need to leave where I am, stay in the same house, pay the same bills, just make my money doing music. That would be great, support. And then I'd be able to put a lot more focus and time, and I wouldn't have to worry about making money, which is always a concern, I feel like that would be considered, I would feel successful if I was able to keep myself going like that, making music.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because, and I think that's why we get along really well, because that's, on my end of what I'm doing, that's my goal. That's what I want for BeatzCoin. Like, I want it to be able to create, sustainable, sustainable jobs, like in the sense that you can make a living out of it, just like you said. You don't have to.
You can keep going.
Yeah, you don't have to be a millionaire. You can live in a decent house and pay your bills and spend a lot of your time doing what you love to do, and that's gonna give you the time to create the best possible content. You're not not having to work 8 to 10 hours a day like a slave, and then going home and doing your passion work, which is making music,
and then you're like drained, like
you're not giving the best you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are the short term goals for you?
So I've been working on beats a lot lately, especially since probably midsummer this year, it's been like I've been confident with my beats. I've gotten to the point where I'd even be confident like selling my beats to other artists now. So my goal
Yeah,
would be put out a project with my own beats and me.
like a whole album.
You know, an album of me over my own beats, and then maybe even do like some videos to that, because the videos that I've recently tried to do kind of fell through. A lot of technical aspects that I wasn't ready for and kind of got overlooked.
Yeah, we
So
talked
we
a
went
little
to
bit
edit
about production earlier. I mean, off the recording that we're doing now. But I want to hit that back up. So in the beginning, you didn't really do much production, right? You just rapped the songs, and then you had a friend that did some production for you.
Yeah, well, there's a couple friends that I'd talked to that had mics, and we were doing it just for fun. I'd go over to a friend's and record, and we just listened to it, and that was it, you know. Maybe put it on SoundCloud for a few Facebook friends, but it was mostly friends recording. I had a setup young, but never figured it out. And then I moved, and a lot of my stuff kind of just got like scattered in the move, and I never kept with it. So really my production didn't start like heavily, and that's not making beats, that's engineering myself, rapping, probably till about 2014. And that's when I was, you know, feeling confident enough to maybe start putting stuff together. And that's when Ames was thought up, because before Ames, my actual name was J Ames, and the reason it was J Ames was because my middle name is James. So it all started from my middle name, James.
So that's where Ames comes from.
And I was like, yeah. So then I cut off the J, and I was like, I need to kind of make this a little bit more, you know, mature. And I felt, because it was JAIMZ before, it was like kind of kiddish. Like that was my young handle. Now it's a little bit.
Hey, BeatzCoin is BEATZ, so don't call it kiddish. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that sounds fun, but like AIMZ, it just was like, it wasn't even like my name. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go AMES. Keep it simple, cut and dry. So
that's cool, and it's like you're aiming, like you have the aims, like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It was like a play on words.
Right. So, are you working on? You said that you just dropped a new song, and that's what we're featuring on the intro and outro. Are you planning to do
the song is called
album?
"Wake Up"?
Wake Up. Mm-hmm.
The song's called "Wake Up." I don't have it on an album, honestly. This was the song that I was working on videos for by myself, well, with a few friends, but not my videographer friends. So it was a lot more in my hands, and directing. I was directing as I was getting shot. It was a little bit different. So that actually fell through with the video because of some technical aspects, and it just kind of got pushed on the back burner because I ended up losing my computer right after I had that song made and bounced. My hard drive crashed.
Perfect timing, huh?
Yeah, perfect timing. So I wasn't even to release it, and then it's just been too long without any releases. I was like, you know what, I need to put some music out there. So I made some quick artwork and released it yesterday, but I haven't really put it out for like a tape or like a album. I kind of just wanted to put something out, but I think I might go for the next project is like more of a self-produced album. Maybe like even just 5 songs, 6 songs. Doesn't have to be long. Maybe just a quick, you know, mixtape to get some stuff out that shows what I've been doing and shows the original feel of the beats with the lyrics, you know, rather than buying beats. Because I'm sure, I don't know, my stuff is definitely, my beats are starting to take a kind of a.
So this song,
they're starting to have a feel.
So this song that that we listened to, that's your beats too, right?
The new one is not. It's produced by Yondo Beats, and that was like, I think I started writing that right at the beginning of the summer before I, like, because I told you it was about halfway through the summer when I started feeling comfortable with the beats, and that was one of the last songs that I actually had downloaded and done with a beat that I downloaded. So
Okay, so now the
beginning
goal
there
is
is a tag, but yeah, the goal next is to push into my own stuff altogether. Because I always thought of it as like rock stars, rock stars in the 70s and the 60s. These guys that were like pioneering rock music, they didn't just go find someone like, hey, do you have a song for me? No, they like sat around and wrote these songs so they could write lyrics over the songs.
Right, right. I actually watched, I don't know if you checked out Bohemian Rhapsody yet, the movie, but
no.
It was pretty cool because it shows you how
I really do
Queen,
want to see it.
Yeah, like because I never really appreciated the old school rock, but then I thought about, man, I need to look at the people that inspired the people that inspired me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's kind of what went through me. Like a year ago, I was all through that old rock and stuff. Watched so many documentaries, dude.
Oh yeah, then you got to watch Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, it's kind of kind of weird, a lot of weird parts on it, but
I'm
overall,
sure it is.
Overall, you see a lot of the kind of what it took for them to become what they became, and how they did everything themselves, how they started their own movement and became, one of the most famous bands of all time.
Yeah, because wasn't he like an artist too? Didn't he do like art?
It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It could have been. It doesn't really talk about that in the movie, but he was definitely an odd fellow.
Yeah.
But it seemed like a lot of people appreciated it, for the most part. Obviously, he had his dark side, right? But the way they made music, it was like, wow. Like the actual song Bohemian Rhapsody, like the whole part where they start talking or where they show that process, that was probably my favorite part of the movie, because you see all the crazy things they do when they're recording that song and what they make out of it. And then the guy didn't want to put it on the radio, and they're like, we don't care if it's you're like, we don't care if it's 6 minutes long, put it or we're walking. And that confidence in what they created, man, it was beautiful.
Yeah, that's like what made it. It's like they were like, yo, this is how the song is supposed to be presented.
And you know what? Going back to the whole industry and everything, that's exactly what we're losing. Artists are only putting out things that'll sell. They're not putting out, their pure...
Honestly, that's what I feel like this new song that I just put out is that, like, realness. And I feel like it's not like a flashy song, so it's hard to get exposure for it. Because I've been trying to put it around, and I really do. I really, really like this new song that I put out, but it's not like super flashy. It's smooth and chill, but it's a good song. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how I always felt about what's next, and it always got overlooked.
Yeah, and music is... it's got to be good, right? Like, it's got to be something people want to listen to and, feel good to it. So I understand that part, why industry wants to, sell stuff that's going to sell. But at the same time, people listen to the music, and when you have good, solid messages behind it, it just takes it to another level. And I think that's what makes you connect with the artist. And I think, though you may have a smaller fan base, the fan base that you do have is one that connects even closer to you. Rather than just, hey, let me, jam to this one song just because, it's got some good whatever in it, But yeah, man.
Yeah, some good feeling in there.
But I really think that you're going to benefit from what we're trying to do with BeatzCoin. You're going to get heard. You're going to get exposed more, and I'm glad, we see eye to eye on the movement that needs to happen. And we're excited, man. We're excited. And I'm excited for you because you've got a lot that you want to do and accomplish, and I feel like we can really be a part to kind of grow together, right?
Yeah, man. I'm excited too. I think the idea you guys have is great. I think it's awesome that someone's trying to do something different, man. It's hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, we got to change the game because it ain't working. It ain't working the way it is right now. It's just gonna tilt things just way too far, further than it already is.
Yeah.
So, man, we've got.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you can take control of that and take the bull by the horns, you might as well, you know.
Absolutely.
And make a change. So
We will, man. We will. There's too many people that want what we want for the good of
yeah.
music and content creation. So it's going to be great. Ames, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I know we'll stay in touch. We can follow you on Twitter. It's Ames Raps, right?
Ames Raps. It's Ames Raps on everything. Even YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud,
Perfect.
Instagram.
And we're gonna do a little contest on your channel for some BeatzCoin. So I'm gonna be describing that on the outro. So everyone, make sure and stay tuned for that. Ames, I appreciate you, man. It was awesome talking to you, and I look forward to talking more and working more closer together.
Yeah, man, it was great.
About the music, ain't about the fake and phony. Fake a flow and think you're about to blow, this shit is funny. These rappers talking shit about their dope but got no money. And I'm still dreaming about stacking something. Cutting trees, I'm out here trying to break my back or something. Out here puffing, trying to spit a couple tracks and double down. Let it pound when the sound be coming out raw. All these words from my brain to my mouth. Can't complain cause it bang when I'm listening now. Sit in the clouds with the perspiration. Floating off the medication that I'm taking daily. Yeah, that's my lady lately, it's aviation. The way I'm flying above. Deeper meditation, mix it in my tracks with some love. All rise, feel the waves and the vibes. Cause I need to feel something, I'm awake and alive. Open my eyes. Living in a dream. Always on my mind, you know I gotta bring all the right feelings to the mic. Let it play.
Okay, guys, here it is. 5,000 BeatzCoin giveaway by the end of this week. Here's what you need to do. I need you to go to YouTube and subscribe to Ames Raps. AMESRAPS. We are going to link his video Shameless in the description, and he's going to pick his favorite comment out of all of those. So all you have to do is subscribe to his channel, Ames Raps, and comment on the video, and we will announce a winner by Sunday night. Again, guys, thank you so much for listening. Without you guys listening, this podcast would be pointless and ridiculous, right? So thank you guys. I look forward to chatting with you guys throughout the week. You know where to find me. If you don't, it's @ProGuerra on Twitter. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And I look forward to many more great conversations like I've had with many of you already. You guys take care. Bye-bye.